Hey guys, welcome back to another video with InfoSec Pat. In this video, what we're going to be doing is installing a read-only domain controller. This is video 4 of the video series that we're going to be putting together. So if you're ready for the video, let's get into it. Okay guys, welcome back. So this is video 4 of this little mini video series that we're going to be putting together for Windows Server 2019 training. So in this video, what we're going to be doing is installing a read-only domain controller in our current video series. So this is, like I said, this is video 4. So the setup that we're going to be doing, we have our primary domain controller, which is a writable domain controller, which is Win2K19 DC01 and DC02, and we see here down here below is we have another server that we're going to be implementing right now, which is going to be an RODC, which is a read-only domain controller. It's going to house the Active Directory Domain Services role in DNS, and I'm going to allocate 6 gigs and all that stuff. All right, so let's get started. So I already installed the server, so we don't have to. You know, if you want to learn how to install Windows Server 2019, just go back to the first video in this series, and I show you guys how to get started. So just in case you need it, it's there for you. All right, so I'm just going to log into all my domain controllers, and this is going to be the RODC, which is, I want to actually open up this. And I'm going to put it over here on this screen so I remember the IPs and everything, because my memory is shot. All right, so we haven't done anything with the server. It's a brand new server, so we can log in. It was a fresh install of Windows Server 2019. So all right, so here what we're going to do is we're going to change some settings. We're going to do some basic configuration before we install the roles, okay? So we give this a second to boot, and if we go to local server, you see here we have this, a generated computer name from Windows. We have DHCP set up for the IP settings, which we want to change that. I'm going to disable IPv6, click on IPv4, and I have it as 192.16, whoops, numlock is off, my bad, 192.168.50.203, 50.20.1, and the primary domain controller is 192.168.50.201. Secondary 192.168.50.202, right? Yep. And I want to click it on Advanced DNS, and then I want to add this one. You know what? I'm just going to do. I want to do 8.8.8.8. Just we'll add the next one after. Oh, that's it. Okay, perfect. All right, validate. It's just a habit that I do. Make sure that works. We're able to get on internet access, perfecto. Okay, so if we refresh this, we should see the, okay, perfect. I want to change enhance. I hate this because it's a pain in the butt. And I think we should be golden now to install the role. Oh, actually, no, sorry. That's why I actually have that screen up, because it gives me steps, because I definitely will forget. Win2K19-RODC. Okay, and hit OK there. Save. Okay. Restart, and then we're gonna go ahead and promote. Man, my nose is so itchy. No, I don't do bad stuff. I know what you guys are thinking. And so we'll give that a second to reboot, and once it reboots, we'll get cracking installing the RODC role, Active Directory roles, and then we'll configure it and all that stuff. And I'll show you how you can identify if it's a writable domain and if it's a read-only domain and how to test it. All right, let's Control Delete and let's log in. Perfect. And now let's wait for Server Manager to open. And once Server Manager opens, we can go ahead and make sure everything is configured and make sure everything's come back. Perfect. Now we can go to Tools, Manage, sorry, add roles and features. Okay, bring this over here. We're going to go to Next. It's a role-based RODC, that's perfect. We're going to do Active Directory Domain Services. We're going to install, make sure all the management is installed. Okay, next, 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 install. And once this is done installing all its, group policy management, Active Directory Domain Services, the remote server administrative tools, then I'll say to promote it. So while that's doing that, let's go check some stuff on DC01. We can go on Active Directory in here. Domain controllers. So we only have 2 domain controllers at the moment, which is an global catalog. So these are writable, the way you can see it. If we right click on the domain, we go to change domain controller. You can see any writable domain controller. And next, once that's installed, we're going to be able to click on this domain controller or this ADLDS instance, and then we're going to choose the read-only domain controller on that server itself. All right, and then once we try to write to that domain, you're not going to be able to. So the main, you guys are probably asking, why a read-only domain controller? What is a read-only domain controller? So what the purpose is for like branch offices. First, it's a security reason. People mainly do it. So you don't have people in that branch office writing to the domain controller, and you can actually add certain groups to allow replication and all that. So and I can show you a little bit of that. Remember, this is not a big enterprise. It's the concepts are pretty much the same. So now we're going to go ahead and promote this domain controller. Come on. I clicked it, didn't I? Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and add a domain controller to an existing domain. The domain is InfoSec pat.local. And then I'll put my fancy administrator. Okay, boom. And I'm going to change this. See how it's logging in local? We're going to change this to InfoSec pat/administrator, and then our fancy password. So you're going to put in your domain / your domain admin. Okay, so now we're logging into there. Okay, go to next. Once we're in here, this is where the big change is. So remember the first 2 domain controllers, we just left it like this. We put our fancy password and we hit next. Now we're going to hit remote, oh my God, read only domain controller. All right, and we only have the one site, which I created Florida. All right, and you just put your password. And the reason why I was thinking about remote, because I was doing a lot of remote access for people with this coronavirus at work and helping people. So cool. So that's that. Let's go ahead and hit next. All right. So this is the big difference. This is the difference that we have here versus what we did before. So these accounts are allowed to replicate passwords. So what does that mean? That means anyone in this group is allowed to replicate their passwords. So by default, accounts denied. So administrators, server operators, backup operators, account operators, deny RODC password replication group. So all of these groups in Active Directory This is the deny group, and this is the ones that are allowed. So if we go into this group, no one should be in there because we haven't added anyone, and I'll show you that in a minute. And so yeah, so I would leave this as default. Okay, we can hit next. And where do we want the RODC to replicate from? We have two domain controllers, right? DC1, DC2. I'm just going to put any. Okay, hit next. I want to put next. It's fine. Next. Let it do its thing. So once this is done, it's going to say, okay, that was pretty quick. So all the prerequisites passed successfully. Hit OK. Or next, install, whatever it said. Had a long day. And so we'll give this a minute to do its thing. Let's go ahead and go on to DC01, the primary. Let's see if it's there yet, which it's not there. Let's see. Refresh. It's there, bada bing, but it's not, it doesn't show remote, I keep saying remote, sorry, read-only domain controller yet, because it still has to finish this. And let's see if it shows up on DC2 yet. Domain controllers. Yep, oh, there it goes. So there it says read-only domain controller. Okay, and let's see, now it should show up here. Let's refresh this. And bada bing. Okay, so now we have a read-only domain controller in our environment. So once this is done, we'll reboot the machine, and then we'll log back into this machine, and I'll show you some differences between the writable domain and the read-only domain. All right, so let's just give that a few minutes. It shouldn't take more than, you know, a minute and a half or so. So we can go ahead and go back into here. Let's go into DNS. So if we refresh DNS, reload, okay, refresh, perfect. So now we should see an RODC, I guess not yet. Interesting. I guess we'll just give it a minute. See if it's in DC02 yet. Sometimes it takes a few. That's group policy. Not that. DNS. I like to have DNS down here too. And let's go forward lookup zones. InfoSec pat. .local. Refresh. I guess it's not there yet because it's 203, right? So it's configuring the DNS servers right now, so it's probably just not ready. So yeah, this is the way you do the RODC. So we'll give that a few minutes. So in the meantime, like, you know, hopefully everyone's enjoying these, you know, these videos. If you guys are watching in order, this is video number 4, and I'm probably, from what I've wrote down and different kind of, you know, we're going to be doing child domains, server core stuff, some file server stuff. I wrote some stuff down the past couple of days. It looks like it's probably going to be 20 plus videos for this whole little mini series. So it should be fun and interesting, right? Like it's everyone, you know, you can learn, you know, if you want to learn more about Windows Server. And if you guys are working in the field at the moment or working at help desk and you want to understand more about the server administration, server engineering, definitely this is the route to go. And if you guys have on-prem servers, you know, a lot of people are using Microsoft Azure, so you can do like federation services, integrate your local domain controller to the cloud, etc. But here we go. So the computer, blah, 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 is being started. It's in a reboot. So close this. And once this reboots, and then now if we technically let that do its thing, if we go back onto DC01, if we refresh this now, or reload, see, and then refresh. Really strange. I don't know why it's not coming up yet. But we'll make sure DNS is all good once it's all there. This is not about DNS in this video. I just want to make sure everything is working. But this is there. Perfect. Yep. Okay, and we're going to be doing that on the actuals on the remote. Oh my God, remote. The read-only domain controller. All right. So give me a few minutes while this loads up, and then we should be golden. Then we'll log into the server and check, make sure our configurations are properly set up, and make sure our IP settings, make sure everything is working correctly on the server. All right, so let's go ahead and go Control Delete. Let's log in to this server. All right, let's give that a second. Come on. All right, so once this opens up Server Manager, we'll go ahead and check some stuff. And we can fix this with services. All right, now it should be green, 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 green machine. Yeah, it's still going. Refresh again. You see the bar, it's racing. Let's see if that, there we go. All right, so I just like to see everything green. All right, so cool deal. So let's go to local server. Let's go to make sure everything is here. We're on the domain. I want to go ahead and check DNS really quick on my NIC here. Sometimes this thing goes bananas. See? Let's do 192, oh my God. Okay, 192.168.50.201. 192.168.50.202. Okay, let's go to advanced. Edit this, make this one 203. Oh, that's why it was. It's 50.203. Make sure everything's good. 50.1 blah. Okay, cool. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. All right, so that's all good. All right, we're on the internet. We're golden. So now let's go ahead and open up Active Directory users and computers. And we can open up sites and services and DNS, because I want to pin all of that here, because it's just the way I like my stuff. All right, so first things first, let's go ahead and go to Active Directory. So if we see our, let's make sure on our domain controllers we can see that we have the RODC. We can see the DC type, read only. So if we go onto our files and we right click, before we do that, let's go into users. For example, we have user. So we have new right here. We can do new user. User right here. And you're like, what? Why is that? I thought it was only read only. Well, how is it writable? I want to show you why. So if we cancel that, we can go to the hierarchy of the Active Directory, right click, change domain controller. Everything right here is any writable. You see that? So now if we go ahead and do this, RODC, okay, we want to get this error or this little message, you will not blah, 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 that's fine. That's what I want. I don't want to be able to write. So now if I go to users, now where's new? New is not there. You see that? So now this is a full read-only domain controller. You see I can't do a new anything. New's not there. Okay, so excuse me. So now what we can do is go back to change domain controller, any, boom, here, Florida, users, right click, new. Now we can create a new user. You see that? So that's how you can't miss that little step. So, and the one last thing I want to show you really quick, let's go to domain controllers. let's open up properties for 2 of these. Actually, let's minimize some of that. So we have you see there's a few little differences between these two. I want to make sure my big head down there is not in the way. So this is the RODC, the read-only domain controller, and this is the primary domain controller. You see we have all the same tabs except password replication policy. This is what I was talking about. So if we go on here, we go to members, no one's going to be in here, right? See, we just created, or we just added this one back to a writable domain. You see, pay attention to this. Now it's writable, right? I can do, you know, administrator, you know, okay, apply, boom. Now he's in there, right? Remember before in the beginning or in the middle of the video, I said there's no one in that group right now. But now let's do this. We can leave that open. We're going to go back to Active Directory. We're going to go back to the domain, right click, change domain controller. We're going to, this domain controller, I'm going to do writable. Okay. Okay. Now let's go ahead and go back to domain controllers. Let's open up RODC. And now we're going to go back to this password policy, allow. Let's double click on here. Members, now it's grayed out. Now I can't do it. You see that? So just don't, there's just tedious steps you cannot miss. Active Directory can be very tricky sometimes. People think it's like easy, it just houses containers and houses stuff, but it can get very tedious. So there you go. That's pretty much the, I just want to make sure there's nothing else I'm missing in my little slide. Let me go back to my slide if I can find it. Nope, I think that sums it up. So that's pretty much how you set up an RODC, and we should, I guess we can go to DNS real quick. And there we go. Bada bing. Now our RODC DNS is in there. All right, cool. So enjoyed. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I hope. And until next time, you know, stay tuned for more videos. The next one will be on adding a child domain to this current infrastructure. We're going to build on this. And please like, subscribe, share with your friends and family. And until next time, have a good day and be safe. All right, take care, guys.